Hey everyone, how's it going? I want to talk about basically how I survived most everything I faced in my life, and uh, especially when it comes to parental estrangement, because I don't know about you, but I think it's really challenging when we do not feel loved, especially when it comes to not being loved by our own children. And that's a toughie. I can say that I have been going through this for a decade and a half back then, way back when, should I say. Um, there was no internet, there were really no books, nobody really had a lot of experience with parental estrangement, so I had to do it, and I did it without drugs, alcohol. I had to get up and go to work. I had to be around other people who had relationships with their kids, grandkids, etc. So I think that I had to do it. I had to pull my big girl panties up, throw them on, and just keep moving forward and start to refocus, start to reframe, think of my life as a trilogy. The first 20 years were with my family of origin, then I raised my children, and then I had another, at the age of 40, I was an empty nester, so I had to start creating a new existence for myself. And I thought about my dad today, and the most incredible thing about my dad today is he was not afraid to love. He loved. And not only that, he was loved in turn. So my dad loved others, especially me. And in turn, my dad was very well loved. And I can't tell you how very special he was to so many people, especially given the fact he was a firefighter. He had been on the job for 27 plus years. And so he had close relationships. He was an amazing person. And was it easy when my daughters broke away? No, I struggled for quite some time. And then I had to get a grip. And today I am married. Um, I have a stepson, friends, family, etc. And I know if I was to pass away, if I was driving and I was in an accident and I was no longer here, I know there would be people that would miss me terribly, that would say there was a void in their life because I no longer was here. Because they couldn't talk to me, couldn't hug me, couldn't reach out, couldn't, I wouldn't be responding to text messages anymore, emails, private messages. I know there would be a, a hole in people's lives because I am loved. And so I know it's not easy. I know it's not one of those situations we ever want to face. But if you look around at the people in your life, you have to think, if you weren't here, would they miss you? And I would say there's probably people that would say yes. And if you say, well, nobody would miss me, well, I think it's our responsibility to start to foster new relationships when family members pass away, our children are no longer around, we get divorced. There comes a point in time when we have to deal with the trauma or the loss or the pain or the grief, 5 stages of grief or loss, etc. And then we have to take it and we have to say, now what? What am I going to do? And I started to live again. I started to do things I had really enjoyed doing when I was a child. And I, I don't know, I think to me, it was exciting to go to rummage sales, estate sales, thrift stores, and find things that I loved when I was a little girl. In fact, remember in the 70s, they had those lemon skippets? The lemon, it looked like a lemon that was attached to a rubber tube, and then there was a hose on the end, and then you'd put that around your ankle, and that was called the skippet. I found one of those. I also found original kerbangers, those ceramic balls that were on a string, and you'd go like this and they would hit your arm and you'd have bruises up and down your arm. I found those. I had to go searching for hidden treasures, things I had forgotten about. So go to antique malls, go to estate sales, go to rummage sales, etc. It's fun, and you'll start to notice that you are getting yourself back. You're grabbing a hold of what you, maybe things you wanted as a child, you can go find again. And remember that toy you wanted as a little girl or little boy and he said, oh, he's wanted a Matchbox toy or a certain Barbie, chances are you can find it. You can find it on eBay, Amazon, Pinterest. Look at your local Facebook marketplace. You'll find stuff there too. So, anyways, that's what I wanted to share. Life is not over when people pass away, but know that you are loved. Someone loves you, even if it's a dog or a cat. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about, and I'll be back.